you have to do this review for our YouTube channel.
Okay.
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
Hi guys, we're back with another poorly reviewed. We just saw Space Jam: A New Legacy, and we just basically got in the door a few minutes ago and saw it down the street. Okay, it was a hodgepodge to me. What did you think?
Also, a pretty big hot mess full of too much shit.
It is a hot mess. Let's just briefly synopsize. You take the lead. You go ahead. You do it. Synopsize.
I don't know if that's a real word.
That's a word. I'm gonna look it up. Go ahead. Tell them what's the movie about, Sean.
So Space Jam: A New Legacy, not Space Jam 2: A New Legacy. No, don't get confused.
They don't do 2 no more. We don't do that no more.
We don't do that. Only subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing is about the king,
LeBron James.
Yeah, he's always been King James though. So.
And his middle child, what's his name?
Dominic
Toretto. And basically, LeBron, grew up as a kid, and he had this work ethic to become the best basketball player in the world. He grew up. He learned at a young age that video games are a distraction from his true goal of being the best basketball player of all time. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to today, he's got 3 kids. The oldest is following his footsteps. The middle child doesn't, feel the same. He wants to just have fun.
I just want to do me.
The youngest has no lines.
She's like 4.
She's young.
She's whatever. She's just a baby. It's her personality.
Yeah. Generally, the whole story revolves around LeBron trying to realize the fun of the game through his kids' love of video games.
So Dom creates a game at 12 years old that he needed to scan real life basketball players for the skins in the for the characters that's in the game, and he wants to devote his attention to making the next $1 billion IP, basically. Making NBA Jam, but online. And LeBron James is like, no, I want you to focus on basketball, because that's where you can make money and whatever. And they end up being called up by WB through Ali G, algorithm that played by Ali G Rhythm, played by Don Cheadle. Sends an email to Sarah Silverman and Steve Yoon to create this idea that by scanning him into WB's serververse, they can basically put him in anything, including Game of Thrones and movies and stuff like that. And he basically just says, no, that's dumb, I can't act. And that was the only joke that was a good joke. And from there, that's how the Space Jam becomes the Space Jam, is because he pulls them into the algorithm world, the WB serververse. And he has to play the game in order to get everyone out. Yeah. And help not get the tunes deleted.
AG Rhythm got all mad that LeBron was bashing his idea.
Right, because his idea was basically taking what Space Jam is, the first movie, taking a well-known athlete, putting them with a cartoon, putting them in something that will bring them, money.
Hello, I like money.
Because that's all he wanted. He wanted to get fame for his idea.
He was paying for his likeness, essentially. Uh-huh. And LeBron has some of the largest following in the world, so he thought he could use him as a platform to reach great success. And LeBron's forced to put together a team where he finds bugs in Looney Tuneverse.
Right.
And they go on a quest.
They've used Dom's game as the centerpiece and the basis for the Toon Squad game. Yeah. Because they put the characters that were in his game in there, boost them up, and then also upgrade his abilities because Dom is recruited to the Goon Squad. And all the rules is just like NBA Jam.
Why was he recruited to the Goon Squad?
Because Algorithm wanted to use him as a tool, basically, a pawn in his scheme to get LeBron to lose.
Yeah, he starts manipulating Dom, calling LeBron like an awful dad, always leaving, saying that he goes from city to city because he can't stay with the basketball team.
Went to Cleveland, went to Miami, went to Cleveland. Like the funny parts was like Don Cheadle, basically. And the jokes that was like tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Everything else was cringe. Everything else was absolute cringe. This is the cringiest movie I've seen in a while. And we saw the Army of the Dead, and that's cringe.
Yeah. I think the parts, I guess we go into specifics.
Yes. I think slight spoilers from here.
So he goes down to Toon Hell, I guess, where Bugs is sitting, and we find out that everyone's left Bugs alone.
Because Algorithm told him, like, hey, you got Game of Thrones over here, you got over there.
And they got called up to the main roster.
And they were just like, we out. And Bugs is just like, I'm just going to stay here, living in the past.
He's living there all alone, going crazy. So they go on this quest to track down the Looney Tunes. Unbeknownst to LeBron what was actually happening.
Yeah, because in the trailer you see him, he's like, we need Superman, we need Iron Giant, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But Bugs takes this opportunity. He takes this opportunity to get all his friends back, his family. And, so, I mean, it was just, there's some parts that was just, like, visually interesting, and then some parts that was just, like, weird. Like, the opening scene, opening scene is in the real world, obviously, and then we go to the tuner world where everything is 2D animated, which also didn't seem like their best 2D animation.
No, it looked like computer generated 2D.
It didn't really. It looked visually like polished, but it looked like it didn't have a lot of depth of field, because it looked flat to me.
The characters, the actual cartoons, felt more real that they felt in this movie.
Yeah, I will say the trick photography and the trick of like the way that they animated the original Space Jam is a lot better than what we got here. When they get into the serververse and they turn into that 3D CGI, it's hard to look at. And
it looked weird.
It's a very weird
Bugs actually looked scary at one point when they got real close on him.
They zoomed in, and he had this angry look. I thought he was going to jump through that screen and
he's going to whoop my ass.
Whoop my butt.
Take a bite out of me.
It was really creepy. And just like all of the jokes, all of the plot points was just really cringe.
I'm shorter than Kevin Hart.
Hit you over the head. Yeah. I've heard the step back. No, wait.
There was a moment in here that kept being, I guess you could consider a motif.
Yeah.
But essentially it's LeBron's go-to move on the court, and they keep coming back to it over and over again.
He tries to teach Dom this move, and then Bugs does it in the end and saves the day.
You make Space Jam, right? Michael Jordan, not an actor.
Right.
He filled the role fine.
Right.
LeBron is actually a better actor than Michael, in my opinion. Yeah. But he didn't seem
he seemed so stiff, though.
He was very stiff.
That was the problem. Like, if he was just, like, relaxed a little bit, and, I don't know, it seemed like...
The scenes where he's actually communicating with people, they were a little better, minus the scene that we kind of opened with.
I still think that he was in his own... He wasn't listening to what anybody was saying. He's just remembering his lines.
Yeah.
Every time I looked at his eyes, I was like, he's just remembering his lines.
When you get introduced to LeBron, he's not likable.
No,
he's not likable at all.
No, it seems like the kid was in trouble immediately when he stepped in. Yeah, it's like, oh shit, you're in trouble. He's like,
when you're on this court, between these four lines, you do work.
I'm the boss.
I'm the dude.
I'm the man.
So he, over the course of the movie, LeBron learns that basketball can be fun and everyone can be be themselves. They don't have to follow his path.
Right. Yeah. Like the thing is, like the whole problem is that he was playing a Game Boy on his day on a high school
coach
game.
Didn't like that.
And the coach was like, "What the hell? Get on the court." And from there, it just colored his whole world up into him being a dad. His kid, his whole thing is video games. In fact, all kids around his age are playing video games. So
they needed to make the plot progress.
Yeah, immediately. The biggest problem that we had, that we were cringing at, was all the Warner Brothers properties that are shoehorned in here that kids will not know anything about.
It's very masturbatory for Warner Brothers.
What kid knows Casablanca? There's a Casablanca scene.
We could talk about that specifically.
Okay.
But for reference, if anyone's seen Wreck-It Ralph, both of them, because those have IPs that are kind of just get brought in. This is it's like that, but times 20, 30, 40, 50. Every single Warner Brothers property makes an appearance in this particular movie, and it is an overload, unnecessary, and wild.
I mean, I kind of get it for the servers to have like everyone that the Warner Brothers has made show up, okay? But it just doesn't. It makes sense that the Druids are hanging out with the fucking what is it, the White Walkers and and Amazons from Paradise Island and stuff.
The Persians for 300.
Exactly. The Flintstones got the cheap seats in the back.
All the Batman villains.
The Batman villains are in the front
next to Agent Smith.
They're by the court with Agent Smith
and Pennywise.
And Pennywise was geeked.
He was loving the game.
He was like, basketball is amazing.
He almost lost his balloon.
He did. He was jumping so high. He was about to float out of here.
I was thinking about this when we were watching the movie. I was like, I wonder how these extras felt dressed up. And there's like, all right, act animated. I guess my problem was, so as you said, the Casablanca reference.
Just the shoehorned in
We'll talk about that when we'll wrap this up a little. When Bugs is going on his quest to find his group, all the Looney Tunes got spread out across the serververse, the various IPs. Donald and Porky were in the DC animated universe with the Bruce Timm Justice League. Yes.
Straight up, like the original Justice League Unlimited, the original Superman animated series, Batman animated series.
That was fine. I didn't have a problem with that.
That kids will know what that is.
Then it gets wild immediately after that.
It turns hard left.
The next one is Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner
hanging out in Mad Max.
In Mad Max.
And he's a war boy.
And he holds up a sign that says "Witness me," and everyone goes "Yeah!" And he jumps off with a fork and knife at the Roadrunner. He sprays the silver. No kid is gonna get that.
No kid will know what that is.
And then Austin Powers is the next one, and they have Elmer Fudd being Mini-Me. Yes. And what was the other one?
Sylvester is the cat.
Sylvester is the naked cat.
The Sphinx cat.
And he's just like Elmer, what are you doing here?
Exactly. But it's just like the transitions between, too.
They're just so fast.
They just was like, you remember this guy? You remember Austin Powers? And it's like, yeah, baby, yeah. And then it cut to...
And it's just like clips from the movie. They're just superimposed in.
The one that made us cringe the most was the granny in the Matrix with Speedy Gonzalez, who is completely a stereotype all over again.
Oh yeah.
And then she's apparently the one.
Yeah, she's Neo. She is the one. She's Neo. Even though she was dressed like Trinity.
She was Trinity in that scene. I couldn't look. I looked away.
I actually was wearing my face mask though, and I actually ended up putting the face mask over my eyes at some point.
His hat was completely covering his face. It's very cringe. Visually, there's parts that was fine. The director was mostly known, like he's done things like The Best Man, Barbershop 2, things that are like comedies with real people in real situations, like real environments. So when we did like green screen stuff,
it seemed like he was out of his depth.
It was like weird transitions that didn't make sense, especially the Austin. It was that whole montage was terrible, and it was just a whiplash and a hodgepodge of all sorts. I will stand by that. It's not awful, but it was bad. It was pretty bad.
If I had my review is, the movie moves too fast. If you think about the original Space Jam, it kind of had a slow pacing to it. The jokes were more simple.
What kind of camera is that? Would you not point that at me, please, and close the lens cap?
Doing that just to...
All happy, kind of
making fun of him being in baseball.
Yeah, it was a very linear type of thing. This one is kind of just like, okay, we gotta go here, now we gotta go here, now we gotta go here, now we gotta go here, and it was such an overload.
Because there was 7 people writing this. There's 7
goddamn writers.
Credited writers, and if it was me, I would have just got the people who wrote the Looney Tunes show, which was genuinely, I thought it was pretty funny, and it had a fresh spin on it. If they had that type of energy for the Looney Tunes or whatever, and try to make more fun of like the algorithm, they do kind of poke at fun at algorithm stuff because it's like Don Cheadle's like, I can see you through your phone and your printer and webcams and stuff.
We didn't really talk about that, but Warner Brothers apparently made an algorithm that can get into any device all across the world. So that sounds problematic.
Yeah, everyone for the big game, they made it. He tweeted it, and he just sucks everyone into the serververse. So if there's a possibility through Dom's technology,
stole it.
his code. So. But anyway, I don't know if I'll see it again. It'll probably be a long, long time
before I watch this again. I'm going to have to be drunk or high.
Exactly. We had some guys from the Peanut Gallery in the back of the theater who was just having a good old time making fun of this movie. It is riffable because there are scenes where LeBron is just like...
That's why they didn't really do like emotional stuff with Michael in the first movie. Like this had needed some weight behind it, but LeBron just didn't have the chop. Or maybe he just was not... Yeah, maybe he just doesn't have the chops for that.
Yeah, I mean...
He's a basketball player.
He's a basketball player.
I can't blame them for bringing a basketball player in.
But you know what? He did have... I felt like he had personality. It was just he was stiff and kind of wooden.
Maybe he was just nervous for being a leading role.
Well, yeah, I would be too. But anyway, what's your score? I gave it a 3 out of 10. I'm
giving it a 4 out of 10 simply for Don Cheadle. He makes the movie.
He is having so much fun.
He had a time of his life.
He's the best part of that movie. He has probably the best lines. There's not a lot. They gave it to him, thank God, because the villain needs to be fun.
Yeah.
So besides that, it's so much going on. It's a lot of whiplash. I felt whiplashed after. Almost like my neck hurts.
It's poorly written.
It's definitely poorly.
The jokes are out of date. The acting is mostly wooden and stiff, minus a few people.
Yeah, the kid is fine.
The emotional beats do not hit because of that.
We didn't say anything about the voice acting. We didn't get a chance to really.
The voice acting is the same as the live acting, so.
The voices are fine for the tunes.
The Looney Tunes are the same actors of the Looney Tunes, minus Lola, who's played by Zendaya.
Yeah, and it's fine. It's fine. It's just like they should have done more stuff with the tunes, I feel like.
Yeah, there should have been more tune stuff, like the first one.
Anyway.
But that's all we got.
That's all I want to say.
That's all I want to say. You can go see it if you have a kid and you want to understand Warner Brothers references.
We went without a kid, so...
Yeah, and this movie is made to mostly laugh at, not with. So.
That's how I felt. Like, we were laughing at the movie more than laughing at the stuff that was intended to be funny. If you like this poorly reviewed, please like the video if you like this. We're going to be back with more content, but life always finds a way in between making content for this channel. But we'll strive to make more and be more consistent, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for stopping by.
Bye. Is that it? What is that? Oh, it's got a mouth at the bottom.
Yeah, that's a squid.
It's scary. I don't like...
Oh, it's okay.